This week on Down to Earth, a new champion in the fight against malnutrition. Uganda roots out hidden hunger using the humble sweet potato.
The orange sweet potato has the vitamin A, and that makes it special.
Vitamin A deficiency leads to blindness and ultimately death. Ugandans find a solution that lies in their own backyard.
If it is made as natural as possible, as sweet potato, so much the better, because vitamin A can save life.
What if we could go a step further? We meet the scientists behind Africa's first bananas genetically modified to be high in vitamin A.
You can see all these are all transgenic lines. These ones contain for vitamin A gene.
Neighbor, have you heard of this sweet potato that's orange? It has vitamin A in it. And it can even help with blindness.
Really, my husband has problems with his eyes. He walks into walls at night.
This week we're down to earth in Uganda. I have to keep my voice low because of this production going on. It's the tale of a humble sweet potato. Not just any sweet potato, but an orange one. Aren't all sweet potatoes orange? Well, no, not here in Uganda. And in fact, this staple root is being used to fight malnutrition here in a very special way.
The star of this performance is a newcomer to Uganda. Sweet potatoes in these parts have always been white, not orange. The goal here is to convince the locals to adopt this unusual coloured variety, high in vitamin A.
An orange sweet potato? Me, I never seen it before. And its health benefits, I never heard of them before. But now I'm learning all about it in this play today.
The idea is simple enough. Breed better varieties of the crops Ugandans already eat. It's known as biofortification.
We're breeding the micronutrients into staple crops. So these are the things that the poor of the world fill their tummies with. And so if you can improve the nutrition of that staple crop, then you will improve the health of the population in general.
This is where the orange sweet potato was born in Uganda. Here they're not genetically modifying the plants, rather just helping out the birds and the bees.
This way you are using the process of nature. You, just like the bee, if you moved around, you will see the bees doing the job in nature. Look at this one here. But I go and do the job that the bee is doing. When I collect pollen from here, this one is acting as the male. And this one is the female. So now I marry the two. So what you are doing is to force it. You are forcing this flower to get married to the male. So it's not, there is no negotiation, you are forcing it.
A marriage between a sweet potato from North America and a Ugandan variety can produce a line that's both suited to the climate and rich in beta-carotene. This gives the crop its orange colour, but it's also what the body uses to create vitamin A.
If a child ate just this little every day, no vitamin A deficiency.
Orange sweet potato fever is now spreading across Uganda. With a $10 million boost from USAID, 225,000 farms will receive the crop over 5 years, led by international research program HarvestPlus.
We started working with the farmers in Mukono district in 2006. We're going in to see some of the farmer groups that have already established their orange sweet potato gardens.
Agnes was among the first farmers to grow the crop.
See, this is how we do it.
So this is the farmers group that I told you that we were going to meet. So this is Agnes, and she's the leader of the farmers group. So Agnes is teaching the farmers here how to grow the orange sweet potato. So she's planting these vines into a heap with enough room so that the sweet potatoes can grow underneath.
Look, after 3.5 months, the sweet potato has grown to this size and it's ready to be eaten.
The orange variety has double the yield of its white counterpart. Even so, not everyone was convinced at first.
At first I refused to plant it because of its colour. I thought it was something for white people, not for us.
Today, Agnes has converted 95% of her sweet potato crop to the orange variety. Some of it she sells at the market, but a large portion is used to feed her husband and 9 children. Every day in every meal there's a tinge of orange on the menu. She shows us how she likes to prepare it, steamed in banana leaves, before inviting us to have a taste. As one might expect, the orange sweet potato is sweet, which is why the young ones love it. Early studies have shown that when malnourished children eat this food regularly, vitamin A levels go up.
I listen to what mothers say, and mothers would start to say, oh, you know, my child is not as sick. I don't see my child having colds and coughs and things like that. And you realize that, in fact, the evidence has built.
In the slums on the outskirts of the capital Kampala, the only type of sweet potato on sale is white. Rebecca works with a local NGO that tackles malnutrition in the neighbourhood.
45%. About 45% of the children are malnourished, and this is because of having insufficient meals.
Today, Rebecca brings us to meet 14-month-old triplets abandoned by their mother and father, Josephine, Juliana and Jane. Juliana is the smallest, more than 20% less than her recommended weight.
These babies are lacking in vitamin A. The lack of vitamin A is evident in their small weight.
Jane, aged 36, is their grandmother. She takes care of the triplets along with 7 other children of her own. Today they're eating bananas, peanuts, powdered fish and margarine, a diet low in essential nutrients. While the baby should be walking, today they're still struggling to stand.
The thing that's been worrying me is that they're not equal in their weight and their development. This one can stand on her own, but the other 2 have to hold onto objects to stand.
These triplets are, however, doing much better than many of the children who have ended up at Wanamugumu Nutrition Unit. Some of them are starving, but others are diagnosed with hidden hunger, that is, lacking micronutrients, typically iron and vitamin A. It leads to stunted growth, weak immune systems, and in many cases, blindness. This baby has just arrived. The doctors have found a disheartening scar on her pupil.
Were you given vitamin A? Do you know what vitamin A is? Do you know how it looks like? There may be high chances that what we see, the scar we see on the eye, is as a result of vitamin A deficiency. Unfortunately, the scar we see is irreversible, except by surgery.
All of the children here are given an urgent dose of vitamin A on arrival. These supplements are offered free to Ugandans, but widespread distribution is difficult.
If it is made as natural as possible, as sweet potato, so much the better. Because even all these women who cannot access health centers, because they are very far, because they do not have transport, at least they can eat the potato from their garden. So to me, I think sweet potato can save life.
Sweet potato may be a staple crop, but it's largely overshadowed by the national dish. Every year, a typical adult eats 3 times their body weight of banana, high in potassium but low in vitamin A. Efforts to breed local varieties to be more nutritious have failed, leading to a controversial alternative, genetic modification. By the end of the year, the government is expected to greenlight a pro-GM bill. Opposition groups have been vocal, calling on authorities to put the law on hold.
Are Ugandan farmers in favour of genetically modified crops?
The vast majority of our farmers are peasants. They may not even understand what this is all about, but those who are in the know would want to adopt the same. The increased yields and the nutritional value outweigh the disadvantages. It's the way forward. We are moving forward.
While the debate persists in Parliament, researchers have already begun working on new transgenic species. I'm about to enter Africa's first and only test site dedicated entirely to growing genetically modified bananas. You can see with this barbed wire just how secure it is. For the moment, all of the bananas grown inside here are strictly forbidden from leaving the 4-wall perimeter of this site. Inside this laboratory, the scientists are transferring a gene from a very specific banana in Australia into one of their local varieties.
It's isolated or identified from a banana type in Australia. This banana type is rich in vitamin A, but the taste is very bad. So it makes sense to get this gene from those bananas to enable our bananas produce vitamin A.
The government pays for the Ugandan-based research while the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation fund the work in Australia. The total budget for this laboratory, €1 million per year. Today the concept has been proven and the production phase has begun.
All these ones contain vitamin A gene. These ones here. We analyze, we look inside the banana and measure how much vitamin A do we have. Then the line that contains more vitamin A is the line that we are likely to send out.
15 months later, the fruit is ready to be harvested. We're taken to see the best line, displaying 6 to 9 times the normal level of vitamin A.
This is a banana finger from the upper banana that's genetically modified with a gene that increases vitamin A content. It looks like a normal banana, but not exactly normal because it's not purely white. You can even see it. But you can see the coloration is coming in, and towards ripening, it really turns orange.
So the big question is,
yes,
what do these bananas taste like?
We have not tasted these bananas because we haven't got a law in place that allows us to taste them here.
So they could be disgusting.
I do not expect them to taste that bad because we only add one gene and usually it doesn't change the taste.
The challenge now is to repeat this success story with the matoke banana, the one Ugandans eat by the truckload.
This is going to be the perfect banana, the perfect matoke banana. It will be the most desirable situation that everyone has this banana and they are accessing the nutrients.
But the world's greatest banana eaters must first decide whether to embrace GM technology in the name of better food.